I now would love to invite Pastor Twine to come up, representing the many, many churches that have journeyed with Wycliffe over the years. Thank you.
Good morning and thank you. It's been a wonderful privilege to be here today and represent the Honeyridge Baptist Church. Sebastian reminded me that this year is 30 years that we've been privileged to support them as a family. I think it's important for me to say that Wycliffe directors over the past, present and future each come with their own specific gifts and abilities and attributes. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that God has equipped people differently for a special season within the Wycliffe family. But today I've come to acknowledge the Fleur family and particularly Karen. I want to say that I want to mention three different attributes that I've observed in Karen and in the Fleurs. And the way I want to express that, it was in 1994, the Fleurs had been on the island of Idu for about 5 years, learning the language and the culture. And a team of 6 of us went to the island of Idu to do some maintenance on the house that they were living in. The house had been built 60 years before, and it needed some maintenance. There were no kitchen units like you would experience in your home. And so a team of us went up there to do repairs to their home. And one of the first attributes that we noticed in the week that we were there was their availability for the people. As we walked around the island with them, everybody wanted to talk to them and take time and talk to them. And they gave them that time. So different to the task-driven society that we live in these days. I must say that their home was like a railway station. It was right on the sand road, and there was a constant knock at the door, people wanting to talk to either Sebastian or Karen. And they made time in their busyness with 4 young children and the challenges of the ministry. They always made time for the people that they were working with. And I think that's an amazing attribute. The second one is that of perseverance. Living on the island, we were there for a week. It was hot, it was humid, the threat of malaria, and they had been there for years. No pick and pay around the corner, no medical facilities if they suddenly took ill. But they persevered under very, very difficult situations. I remember we arrived on the island and Karen showed us around the home and then showed us the bathroom. It wasn't part of the house. It was in the courtyard. An old cement building, the door was missing. There was a plastic curtain there. It wasn't tiled. There was a big concrete slab, and on top of the slab was a galvanized bath. And you would have to go to the well and pull up the bucket of water and fill the bath, and you would have to make that trip a few times. And then there was a small pot next to it, and so you would soak yourself, scoop the water out of this galvanized bath, and douse yourself. And that's how you showered. And I remember after the first night, and we got used to this, and it was fine, thinking, I wonder how many of the ladies back home would have adjusted to this type of bathroom. And I can assure you there weren't many. Another picture that I have in my mind was young Dean bath time. He was probably 2 or 3 years old. And he had what I suppose you would call his own private Mozambican jacuzzi. It was a 20-litre drum that they would fill up with cold water, and he would usually be dunked into this drum, and he enjoyed it. And so living on the island wasn't easy. Many challenges. And then in the area of perseverance, it was 23 years later, together with Reverend Derek Stone, we had the privilege of traveling with the Fleurs all the way back to Pemba for the initial dedication of the Kiwani scriptures. What a joy to see the Muslim leaders so excited to get a copy of the scriptures in their own language. And then we heard they had been told years before, your language is not important, you must learn Portuguese. And now they were so excited to get the scriptures in their own language. Then we travelled further up the coast across to the island of Ibu, There were now 7 believers on the island, and what a joy. I know for me it was a highlight, and I'm sure it was for you, for Karen and Sebastian to give each of those believers a copy of the scriptures in their own language. Sebastian shared one of the parables and then got them to read it. And what a privilege that was, after 23 years of visiting the island, to see the culmination and the perseverance that they demonstrated. And I know there were others that had joined them along the road and made a huge contribution. But they had spent years persevering to see this to completion, and we praise the Lord for that. The third attribute I want to share is that of resourcefulness. If you're a missionary, and I know the Lord sent them out there for years, equipped them in a unique way to be able to serve in the leadership role, and as I mentioned, each one is different, but I believe the experience on the field gave them unique opportunities to be able to minister to colleagues on the field facing similar challenges that they would have. But if you're a missionary out there on the coalface, you need to be resourceful. And I want to share one experience of resourcefulness. We had worked hard the whole week, and it was decided that on the Sunday we would walk to the other side of the island, which was a 40-minute walk, beautiful white beach, and we would have a braai on the beach. We had noticed a duck running around the courtyard the week that we were working there, and it was decided the duck would come with us because we were going to have a duck braai. Now I want to challenge all the ladies here today. Tomorrow when you have your Sunday roast and you're tempted to reach out for the electric carving knife, put it aside and take it to the baked beans, cut out the lid and see how you fare cutting out the chicken. And so those were 3 important attributes that I had observed, and I'm sure you will testify that many of those attributes were applied in a leadership role here at Wycliffe and will be applied in the future role that she has to play. It's been a wonderful journey, and we really, truly thank the Lord for being able to partner with you. But today I want to pay tribute to Karen's parents for the specific role that they've played in Bible translation. You might not know, but as the boys grew up and into high school, they boarded with Karen's parents. The dad passed on, but the mom is here today. And they boarded with them. She saw them through the high school. An amazing sacrifice that they made so that Karen and Sebastian could stay on the field. And today I want to thank you. Won't you please to stand? Thank you for that amazing sacrifice and the huge contribution that you played in Bible translation. Karen and Sebastian, on behalf of the Unreached Baptist Church, we wish you God's blessing in the years that are ahead, and it's been a privilege to work with you. I thank you.